What's up, New World players? Coffee Noob here with another episode of Coffee Noob TV. In today's video, I want to discuss some ideas for New World that I think would change it for the better. And we're going to do that right now. Alright everyone, the first thing under my questing and rewards idea changes would be to add unique world bosses to the game. What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you an example. So we have plenty of MSQ content, right? Because they're revamping it and everything, but we don't have a lot of end game content and quests for players to do. So I think adding unique world bosses that can be done on a weekly basis would be really cool. So for example, if we go into a high level end zone like Shattered Mountain, we have quite a large area, right? I think the unique world boss should patrol roughly a quarter of the zone, so it's not super easy to find, but when you do find it, you have like that holy crap moment. I can't believe I just found the weekly world boss, and I better form a group quickly, right? So you're spamming in the recruit channel. You're trying to form a group so you can take out this beast. The NPC that I feel should give this quest should be the Silver Crows, right? I feel like when you're done with the seasonal quest, correct me if I'm wrong, they're kind of pointless after that. There's really no need to go back there. I don't think they give anything too special. If they do, forgive me. It's been a while. I haven't finished this season's seasonal quest yet. It was bugged and I just haven't had time after they fixed it to even do it. But from my understanding, from what I remember, pretty much after you did that, they were kind of pointless. So I think it would, give them more of a purpose in the game after you're done with the seasonal quest. And what they should give you for a reward are two things. One, from the NPC vendor itself, you should get gold, gypsum orbs, dark matter, things like that. From the actual mob, I feel like their loot table should be really unique and full of really awesome rewards, like really rare things to find in a normal basis, like the things that we look for when we do our chest runs, for example. So any trophy upgradable item or golden scarabs, hell, if you want to go crazy, maybe even prismatic scarabs or Azoth inductors, etc., etc. But I think that would be a cool addition to the game. Tell me what you think. On to the next one. All right, everybody. So my next change for questing / rewards in this game that I think would be super cool is if we had a daily / weekly gathering quest. So what you can do is we can mine from bears, we can chop wolves, etc., etc., right? There's special unique monsters already added to the game that allow us to, in my opinion, take advantage of this and make a cool daily quest out of it. So you go to your faction vendor, for example, if that's who they want to make you give you the quest, whatever, whoever they decide, I don't care. But for this example, we go to the faction vendor, we pick up the daily. They're like, hey, I need this really damn cool ore. It comes from this mob in this zone, but they don't tell you exactly where it is. There's going to be a little bit of discovery to it. Maybe they're not in a quarter of the zone like the world boss example, but like let's say the mining bears here, maybe like a zone roughly this big in size, how my mouse is circling around, but not so it's super easy where the vendor just tells you exactly where they are. You go there, you kill them, and you come back, right? You got to have a little bit of a challenge to it, in my opinion. You go back, you get your reward. I think there should be like a weekly group one as well. That would be kind of cool if there's like a mob they can add that needs roughly 5 players in order to take out. And for the reward, we just get some gold because as of late, people are having trouble making gold. All right, on to the next one. All right, last but not least, under questing / rewards ideas for this game that I think would be super cool would be the ability to find and hunt unique monsters. Not unique for questing for gathering, but unique for just to get them as a hunter, right? Somebody wants you to hunt something cool, some elite mob or something, and afterwards you get to keep their head or their entire body and taxidermy it into some kind of furniture, some unique furniture that you can make for your house. Does it give you any special perks? Probably not. Leave that up to the devs. But I think something like this would be super cool. You can add some more spark to your house. And what I'm going to also do is give credit to my friend that came up with this idea. So Armid, you're welcome. He said he came up with the entire idea. I don't think so, but we'll just give him credit. All right, on to the next one.
Oh, and obviously you would get gold for this too.
All right, everyone, for a quality of life update that I would like to see in this game would be the ability to lock in a node once you start gathering from it. It doesn't have to be forever, but if you could make it locked to your character for at least 30 to 60 seconds while you start on it, that doesn't give the ability for any other player to come and grief you, especially when there's mobs nearby. They aggro the mob, they line them up right behind, they'll stand right behind you to line up the mob so that mob will hit you, and then they can go and steal your resource from you. Super annoying, super douchey, and I hope they change that. I think that would be a great change for the game, and I want to give credit where credit's due. Tyrus, my friend and company member, came up with the idea. So thank you, Tyrus. I think it would be a remarkable idea because my initial thought was to make all resources unique to the player, not to the actual server, I guess, to where everyone can mine from the same node. But I can see, obviously, at least initially, that would be a problem for the market. So Tyrus, I think your idea is much better, and I think it would be a great addition to this game. On to the next one. All right, so another quality of life change I would like to see in the game would be the ability to notate in your friends list. Let me just find it first. Okay, so if we go to our friends list, all I can see right now is who's online, who's offline, and their names, right? But I don't, to be honest, remember everybody, and I'll friend people that I've ran expeditions with, or I guess in other people's cases, PvP'd with, right? I don't really PvP. But let's say you come across somebody that was a really good healer or a really good tank or a really good DPSer, and you want to remember that person because they're awesome and you want to do cool end game content with them. Well, as it stands right now, you can either write it on a legal pad or you can create a spreadsheet in another program on your computer. And I think that's kind of bullcrap. I think we should just have a notation system within the friends list so we can do things like that. Another little thing that I think they can add to the friends list, which would be cool, is the ability to see where that person is, what zone they're currently in. So you're not bothering them if they're in some, what would appear to be like a high level thing, right? Like if you can see they're in an expedition, maybe they're in an M3 and you don't want to bug them right now because they're clearly going to be busy and they're going to be focused, right? Anyway, on to the next one. All right, so the next quality of life change I would like to see is the ability for the game to add nodes for everyone that you discover, right? So currently as the game stands, I think when you're close to an area, you could see certain ones like the elemental nodes for mining, or the what the hell are they called? Those essences. They're not motes, but they're like the animals, like the turtles and stuff. You can see those if you're close enough to them. But I feel like once you've discovered them, it should be memorized on your game and your map, and that way you don't have to always be looking around for certain things you want, right? Like you just kind of scope out your map and see the stuff there, and then you can run a route and not have to really be using another program or anything. So the thing is, obviously, after a while, your map would get clustered up quite a bit, right? So also, if you add that feature, add a filtering feature where you can remove or add whatever you want to see on your map. And that's what I think would be a great upgrade. Tell me what you guys think. On to the next one. Okay, so another idea that a friend gave me. Thank you, Micro. Shout out to Micro. So the ability to auto pay your rent. Rent is annoying. Nobody likes to pay it, but you especially don't like getting harassed about it every time you're about to come due, right? The game reminds you several times before you're able to pay it, and it's super annoying. If you can either just pay it as soon as that comes up or set it up to be on an auto pay feature, I think that would be a great addition to the game, and so does Micro. So thanks again, Micro. Thanks for the idea. On to the next one. For the next general quality of life upgrade I would like to see in this game that I think would be super duper awesome, runs specifically in the trading post under the selling section. I think it's very tedious right now how you have to find things either by name or by how many you own. I own one of a billion things, right? So like that's kind of annoying having to go through this entire list to find them, or to do it by name is a little bit faster. Still annoying though. Can we please have a system that lets us filter out the types of items through how they're classified? So for example, the writhing seedling is a resource, right? So let's have a check mark here for resources. We can have a check mark for other things too. These are all resources, weapons, armors, et cetera, et cetera. And that way you can just filter all those out. You know specifically what you're looking for and you can find it. I think that'd be a great addition. On to the next one. Next on my list of quality of life updates I'd like to see would be the ability to trade with your group while either in the expedition or for maybe a small time window after the expedition that you got loot-wise from the expedition itself. So sometimes you're running a group, somebody wants something specific, obviously not the artifacts, but let's say you find some kind of a weapon that somebody's been looking for and they just have had the worst luck and they can't get it, but you've got 5 of them and you kind of feel bad. Maybe not, maybe you're laughing at them, but if you do feel bad, it would be nice if we had the ability to trade those items to the group member themselves for a little bit, whether it be only while you're in the expedition or for a small time window even afterwards. Tell me what you think about that. I'm definitely interested in your comments. All right, another quality of life, or I guess aesthetic change I'd like to see is the one and only, and I'm going to get so much flack for this, the quiver. Look how ugly that thing is, man. I got all this other cool looking gear, and then I have this dirty butt looking quiver. Like, it's so bad. What? Look at it. It's just gross, man. Can we get some cool quivers? New World, I would pay for a new quiver that looks super cool and matches like my bow and spear, right? Take my money. All right. Anyway, tell me what y'all think. I mean, they have skins for the harvesting tool, for crying out loud. You can't even see that thing when you're harvesting, but they don't have one for the quiver. It's so ugly. Come on, let's get a change, New World. Please help me out. All right, guys, under PvP, I don't have much because I don't PvP that much, but I do have 2 that I think would be cool changes for the game. Obviously, we need more content for them, so that would be the first one. I'm sure the devs are aware of that. The PvP players want more content, so let's make more content, please. We have enough dungeons. This is coming from a PvE player. We have enough dungeons. Make some PvP content for the amazing PvPers so they can stop crying. Voicing their opinions. Also, another thing that I think would be super cool would be if tanks, taunts actually worked in PvP. And by that, I mean it fully distracts the character who they're attacking for several seconds, or maybe completely makes them do a 180, looks at the tank, whatever. The taunt actually works on players and distracts them for a bit of time from doing what they were doing, allowing the other character to possibly survive, or, kick their butt because now their back's turned or something. I think that'd be a cool addition. Let me know what y'all think. On to the next one. Okay, so under the trade skills section of these updates I'd like to see, I want to see all recipes, whether I have the materials or not. Currently, as the game stands, I think there are certain material or recipes you won't see just because you don't have the current item on you. For example, a prismatic scarab, you wouldn't see any of the prismatic scarab recipes, or a golden scarab, you wouldn't see any of those, or even a trophy. So right now, as you can see, I can only see the minor ones because I don't have any of the basic or major upgradable items on me currently. I have most of them in my other storage shed in another town, so I can't see them. That's annoying. That for a second made me think I need to find an actual recipe to learn it. And you don't. It's just because I don't have that item, and I think that needs to change because 1, it's stupid, and 2, you have no idea what else you need unless you do some research and go to a website and look it up, or you go to the trade skill post. I think they'll show you sometimes what mats you need to make them, but it shouldn't be like that. Just show me in here. What the hell? All right, tell me what you guys think about that. On to the next one. All right, so another trade skill change I would like to see would be the ability to specialize in a crafting trade skill. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me tell you what I mean by that. Currently, as the game stands, you can max out in every trade skill that you want: refining, gathering, and crafting. Now, we can leave that all the same as it is right now, but I feel like once you hit 250 in a crafting trade skill, or several of them, you can only pick one out of all of them to specialize in, right? And there will be 2 or 3 or 4 options, whatever the devs come up with, based on what you can make within that craft itself, that you're allowed to pick. So for example, if we are an engineer and we want to make super awesome blunderbusses or super awesome spears or super awesome bows or super awesome muskets, we can only make one of them super awesomely, right? And what comes with making something super awesome? I think should come a unique perk that you can add to the weapon that only you can do as that person who specializes in that craft. And that way, I feel like it will bring the community back together, at least for needing crafters, because right now, as it stands, if you max out on everything, if you put in the time, the effort, the money, the blood, sweat, and tears, whatever, you won't really need anyone's help, right? And I think that's kind of bullcrap because this is an MMO. It's not a single-player RPG. Tell me what you think. On to the next one. All right, everybody. So the last thing I could think of for trade skill changes that I would like to see in this game is the ability to use more Azoth while within the crafting menu. So at the moment of making this video, they did just recently upgrade your max from 1000 Azoth to be held on your character at all times to 2500, right? Very cool. However, I still feel like it's kind of tedious making multiple of anything in the extraction category, for example, right? You need 250 Azoth every time you make one. So at the most, you could do 10 if you're fully maxed out. Then you have to craft it, leave, go to your inventory, salvage a bunch more of vials of Azoth, go back, and rinse and repeat. That is super duper annoying. If you want to win the super duper annoying award, I think the award goes to devs on this one. Can you please make it to where the game sees how many Azoth vials you have either currently on you or within your storage chest, and it just allows you to use that many? I don't think that's too much to ask for. Tell me what you guys think. And that's it for trade skills. All right, so under combat, in the changes I'd like to see for New World, first one that comes to mind are buffs and debuffs. I want to be able to see all of them on the character that I'm beating up and on myself, right? I want to see all my buffs, all my debuffs. I want to see it all. Currently, I think you could see maybe 8. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but there is a limit. After a while, you can't see them all, and it's frustrating. I don't know about you, but I've accidentally reused coatings when I already had the buff and didn't realize it because it was not showing, because I had too many damn things going on my thing, and on the UI, and I think that needs to be fixed. That would be awesome. All right, thank you. On to the next one. Okay, so the next combat change that I would like to see is for all effects and dots on a bad guy to work, basically, right? Like, as it stands right now, if you brought 2 fire mages, I think only 1 smolder will work. Whoever's the strongest or whoever put it on last. I don't know exactly how it works in the game, but the fact that you can't stack dots or similar abilities is bullcrap. Why is it bullcrap? Well, I think it forces you to play a specific class then, right? And the whole point of this game, or a big selling point of this game for me at least, was the classless system. So if you're going to force me to play a certain weapon in an M3 because other people are playing a certain weapon, kind of destroys the whole classless system in my opinion, and I think it should be changed. What the hell? Why can't everybody stack their bleeds and it doesn't affect the one person or the other? Anyway, tell me what you think. I think it should be changed. On to the next one. So the final change I like to see in combat would be for 3 mutation dungeons every week, not just the 2 that we currently have. Why do I think it should be 3? Well, because I think we have enough dungeons at this point to justify it. And there's a lot of artifacts that come from them, and this way people can get them and they have more choices every week, right? Also, and this part comes from Armid, so shout out to my friend and company member Armid. He thinks we should change the rotation for the actual mutations themselves. I think currently as it stands, we have both Void and Nature on one week, and then the following week it's Fire and Ice, and it never changes. It's always the same. Don't quote me on that. If it isn't like that, then I take it back. But if it is, they should rotate it. They should vary it. And on to the next one. Well, I messed up that last part of the clip because there is no next one. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, leave a like, follow, comment. Tell me if you didn't like it either. Just be like, hey, you know what? I thought those ideas sucked. But don't be that person that tells you you're terrible and then has no solution. So if you thought my ideas sucked, tell me what your ideas are. Or if you thought they were cool and you still have some ideas of your own, tell me what they are. I really want to know. I think if we can come up with some ideas together, Maybe we could even get our ideas put into the Q&A at the next dev update. That would be freaking awesome because we need to make New World as badass as possible. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. Coffee Noob is out. Maybe we could even get our ideas put into the Q&A at the next dev update. That would be freaking awesome because we need to make New World as badass as possible. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. Later.